What is up, everyone? Welcome to my YouTube channel where I share my experiences on my journey to financial freedom. Before we begin, let me just put a disclaimer that I'm not a licensed financial advisor, so whatever information that I will be sharing in this video, they are purely informational and should not be treated as a financial advice or investment advice. In today's video, we will discuss about the top 10 things that you should know about TFSA. If you have any questions, please comment down below and I'll answer them to the best of my knowledge. If you are new to my channel, please do check out my other videos and I'll post the links in the description below. Let me just give you a quick background of what the TFSA is. So TFSA, it stands for Tax-Free Savings Account. It's an initiative by the Canadian government which they opened or implemented back in 2009. So this initiative basically is to promote or encourage people, Canadians basically, to save and invest money for the future. I know it says savings account, but a TFSA is far more than just a savings account. It's actually an investment account. You can have stocks, ETFs, GICs, mutual funds, and pretty much everything that you can think of. Just like RSP, TFSA is also considered as a registered plan. What that simply means is that all the transactions that go in and out of this account, they are tracked and reported to CRA or Canada Revenue Agency. Opening a TFSA account is pretty straightforward. You can either go to your banks or other financial institutions. Or for me personally, what I did was I just went to Questrade and opened a TFSA account and submitted all the required documents online. So quickly, if you go to questrade.com, all you need to do is click on open an account. And you have options in here. Since we're talking about TFSA, you'll choose tax-free savings account, TFSA here, by clicking add. Then you just click on open now. So now we are ready to look into the top 10 things that you should know about TFSA. The first thing to know about TFSA is that the starting age for contribution is 18 years old. So as long as you're 18, you can begin to contribute to your TFSA account. In some provinces like British Columbia, you can only open a TFSA account at the age of 19. Nevertheless, the contribution room still starts at 18 years old. The second thing to know is that there's no age limit to contributing to TFSA. You can contribute to invest even after the age of 71, which is the limit for RRSPs. Number 3, you can always withdraw money anytime you want. And guys, this is really very important because what this means is that you can treat your TFSA like an emergency fund where you can always take out your money at any time you want or anytime you need without any tax or penalty consequences. You just have to remember that you can't recontribute that amount in the same calendar year. So as an advice, if you only need the funds for a short time and plan to replace them quickly, the best strategy is to take the withdrawal late in the calendar year so you can recontribute by January 1 of the next year. Number 4. This year's TFSA room is 6,000. As I mentioned earlier, TFSA was first introduced back in 2009. If you already qualified by then, your total contribution room to date is $75,500. If you have not contributed in the past or did not meet maximum contributions in any given year, you can catch up on unused contributions. If you are unsure as to how much your contribution limit is, the best way to find out is to go check the CRA website for that information. Number 5, there is 1% penalty if you over-contribute. Just like RRSP, there is a maximum limit as to how much you can contribute in a given calendar year. So be careful not to over-contribute or you will incur tax penalties equal to 1% of the highest excess amount in the month and for each month you are over. Number 6, TFSA has nothing to do with income. So unlike RRSP where your contribution limit is based off on how much you earn for that calendar year, TFSA for everybody is the same. Additionally, TFSA withdrawals do not impact any government benefits or assistance programs such as child tax benefits, old age security, or other guaranteed income supplements. This means low income earners can generate tax free income without it affecting their support. Number 7, TFSA is not just a cash account. To me, this is my most favorite feature of a TFSA. I mentioned already earlier that a TFSA, although it says savings account, is actually not a savings account. It should be treated as an investment account. It can be structured so you can invest in various vehicles, such as GICs, bonds, mutual funds, stocks, and exchange traded funds. Number 8, you can have multiple TFSA accounts. So, to reiterate, for those wondering whether you can have multiple one or more TFSA accounts, the simple answer is yes. Whether I'll do it personally, probably not, because I'd like to simplify or streamline my TFSA account. I don't want to maintain multiple accounts under different financial institutions. You can do it for your sanity if you want to have multiple TFSA accounts, let's say one from RBC or TD or one from Questrade. You can absolutely do it. Number 9, TFSA contributions are not tax deductible. So, unlike RRSP, where you can use your contributions in RRSP for tax deferment, for TFSA, this is not the case. However, TFSA is much better, in my opinion, than RSP because TFSA, if I'm able to exponentially grow my TFSA investment account, all the capital gains or income out of this TFSA account would be free from tax. Lastly, and I think this would hit a lot of people, especially they're always trying to choose between TFSA and RSP. The simple answer to this is that if you can afford to contribute to both of them, then do so because they provide their own benefits, not going to hurt you in the short term or long term. RSP is good for tax deferment, and also if you're looking at your retirement, it's really good to contribute to RSP. TFSA, it's a good supplemental to your retirement fund or maybe for short term to medium needs. But if you have to really choose between the two, I would say, and this is just my opinion, to contribute it to TFSA. Because TFSA, it has more flexibility. You can always pull it out whenever you need it. And as I mentioned earlier, TFSA being an investment account is my most favorite feature of it because I can invest in different ways. It's very flexible. For the most part, I use my TFSA account to hold stocks and ETFs. And I know stock market might not be for everyone, but it will be a different topic altogether. What I will just show you quickly is that contrary to what a lot of people might know about how risky the stock market is, there's a lot of risk, but also historically, if you look at S&P 500, if you guys are not familiar with S&P 500, it's a benchmark for the American stock market because this index actually holds 500 of the top companies in the world. So, if we look at the historical data for S&P, what you can find here is that since 1957, the average annual return for S&P is 8%. So 8% is very high compared to uh, whatever interest rate you could get for a regular cash account. I think the most generous interest rate for a regular savings account would be 2%. So to me, it's a no-brainer to invest in the stock market rather than putting it in a savings account. Obviously, there's other ways to invest money. You could go real estate and other medium, but we'll just focus on stock market for the most part in my channel because that's the investment vehicle that I've chosen and I'm dedicated to. So historically, if you look at the S&P 500 performance, not only it's able to have annual return of 8%, but if you look at this chart here, you can see that for the most part, S&P 500 is almost always going upward. There are certain points in the history where it actually plunged or crashed, but this happens every 10 years. So for example, this 2009 or 2000, yeah, 2009, between 2000 and 2009, we had the subprime mortgage crisis in the States. And then in 2018, I think we had another sell off. But if you look at it, it quickly, in less than 6 months or 3 months, it quickly recovered to an all time high. So, just quickly, I want to show you how powerful investing is because with it, you can actually take advantage of what they call compound interest. I'm not going to go into technical details about how compound interest works. I think there's a lot of information already about it. But what I will show you quickly is how much money you could actually have after a certain time period. Of course, if when you talk about investment, you should always have a long horizon for investment. So let's say in your TFSA, let's say starting today, if you have some money to contribute, if you put in, let's say, $1,000 today, and then maybe you commit to put in $500 every month, and then let's just say your time horizon for investment is 15 years. And if you're going to invest in stock market, like I said, we're just gonna take the estimated interest rate to 8%, which, as I showed you earlier, which is the historical annual return for S&P 500. So let's just say it's 8%, and we're going to leave this blank. And then we're going to compound the frequency annually because that's the power of investing. You take advantage of the compound interest. So let's click on calculate here. So you will see here your total contributions without any interest would be 91,000 after 15 years if you start today, right? But look at how much your total money would be, right? It's 100, it's going to be worth at least $160,000, right? Compared to what you contributed only, which is 91,000. So if you put your money in a regular savings account, there's no way for you to get this money after 15 years. And and based on my experience, actually this 8% is very conservative. Of course, sometimes there's going to be crash in the market. So maybe in 1 or 2 years, your performance might be below here. But for the most part, if you chose the right stocks or equities to invest, you're most likely going to at least end up with 8% annual return. So that's why I encourage people to actually start investing, especially in TFSA, because all this money after 15 years, all the capital gains that you get for investing it, CRA will not tax you for all the capital gains or income that you generated after 15 years. All this money are going to be tax free. Thanks for watching the video and hope you guys enjoyed the content. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, enable that alert notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos.